All right, all y'all. Thank you for joining me. We're going to start in a few minutes. Thank you again. God bless you. Hope you're having a great day. And we're going to do some trading. It's Tuesday, the 13th of May, and we've got some good markets setting up after the news announcement, and we'll be joining the live markets in a moment. So thanks again. Hold tight. All right, everybody. Thanks again. Hope you don't mind. The landscapers just showed up and they might be causing noise and making my dog bark, so we'll see. Again, May 13th. Glad to have you with me. We are waiting some action here. We had a big news announcement. CPI came out at 8:30. Here's a long-term view of the Nasdaq. Looks very bullish, so hopefully our trade war with China is coming to an end. Um, so we did have a trade here in the MCL. Here was an overbought condition. We actually had two of them. We had one that was a pin bar here. That was a going short right at that level. And then the one that pushed through and came right to target right there. Again, we're trading the Lion system. The Lion system is based on two indicators. One of them creates this yellow midline and these channel lines and this histogram. That's called Leto channels. And the other one so that one determines when we're overbought or oversold, and that's what we're looking for is overbought or oversold conditions. For a reversion back to the midline, that's the whole point. We're going to be scalping toward the midline. And then the second indicator is the entry and stop loss and target calculator, and that's called extension 62. So the blue dot, the magenta dot, these blue dashed lines, and the magenta dashed lines, those are produced by extension 62. And those are the dotted lines are our targets. Stop losses are at dots, and we'll catch on, I'm sure. So we're looking for oversold, overbought conditions, and then we look toward the entry dot and a reversion back to the midline. For instance, this is an overbought condition. We start printing yellow dots on the channel boundaries when we hit overbought or oversold. So this is definitely above the overbought, oversold. And this would be our sell location. First dot or the highest dot after this overbought condition. So right here is where we would go short. Now, as the 100 period moving average rises and the trend may continue, this dot becomes disqualified eventually. It becomes disqualified when we get close to the 100, and it becomes disqualified if we have a higher sell signal. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's possible we'll get a sell signal on this bar right here. This red pin bar, basically. Once this bar closes on the Russell, this current bar, there we go. So there's our sell dot. And, position size is 18, so we'll do 18. Now, some of you might be concerned about something that's called a fake out breakout. Now, these are breakouts. This is a breakout downside, right? We're looking for a breakdown here, and we're going to be targeting a short distance as a scalp. Sometimes those are fake outs. Prices go to where this previous buying was. There's buying that came in at this point in time and pushed the market up. So if the market pushes down to this level and it stops and a buying situation occurs, that's called a fake out. That's something to be very weary of. And what we're going to be doing is putting our stop loss right above the high of that bar. So if it gets filled now, we're going to be targeting this level as our target. All right, so we've got a few contracts filled. All right, so we're short 18 now. I'm going to do a buy limit at our target. Another thing extension 62 does is it gives us our suggested position size. Now, based on a $300 risk, this distance would have been the initial stop. But we're gonna combat the fake out breakout, and we're just gonna go for a shorter stop right here. But what it does, this blue line tells us that's the initial risk distance. And at the bottom right, you'll see this number 18, and that's the suggested contract size based on a $300 max risk. Now we might get stopped out here, and that's okay. This is a fake out breakout. If it is, we're going to get stopped out for a much lower cost, much lower loss. That's what we want to do is manage our risk. We don't want to take a lot of risk. So we want to cut down our risk. We're at about a 1-to-1 reward to risk with this situation, and that's great. Now the original the original lion method would have put the stop up here, but we're going to be a little tighter. All right, so we did get stopped out. Not a big deal. We're going to see how the market reacts If it can break through this level, we'll put another short limit order in right at that price. It's got to break through there, though. It's got to show some weakness. Hmm. All right, so this was an oversold condition, but the buy targets, the buy entries have been way up here. So in the copper market, so we're not going to go long on that market. It's just too far above the 100. Now this is an interesting situation. This could be a short. I mentioned this earlier, nat gas. However, market has pushed up through there. So we're going to look for another push down below that level. We're getting close to the 100, so the target ideally should be above the 100 on a short, and it's below the 100, so that kind of disqualifies that signal. So the HG market might be outside of our scope right now. I'm sorry, the NG. Natural gas here. HG is still is up. It's got really nothing that we want to go long on. All right, well, that's crude. Nat gas is pushing higher. Bitcoin is up and down. Mm. All right, so we're going to mark that as our loss today. It's about entry and exit. So this indicator up here that's drawing this red summarization box is called auto summarize PNL. So it's automatically going to calculate our PNL on this instrument based on our little drawn rulers. So we got out with a small loss on our first trade. That's pretty good. A lot of slippage on that stop out. Oh, that's the Russell. Hmm. All right, nat gas is putting in a little bit of a top here, huh? Could be a double top. We'll wait for the market to settle down. 9/11 in the morning. Keep an eye out for our trend trades too. They could be setting up. All right. Not much going on right now. We're just kind of hanging in there. Hmm. All right. Well, a little weakness in the Russell. Hmm. Since the overbought condition was a little bit aged. That happened at 8:40. It's now 9:15, so 35 minutes ago. Uh, don't want it to be too old. No way to quantify it though, so all right. All right, I think this is a good little scalp setup here. I'm going to take a short if we can get up to just underneath this little swing here. This is a little bit more risky trade. We'll put a stop up above there, my stop market. Now again, the original lion trade was to go short at this pink dot and put a stop up here at that level. And we never actually hit that stop. So technically speaking, we should still be short from that level, following the original lion rules. We're going to see if we can get a little bit of this sell-off. Now, one interesting point of note is the histograms here are predictive histogram. Well, they're really a tendency of where the market has been in the past. And you can see that it's been bearish during this time of day. And bearish by meaning bearish means it's usually below this yellow line. So the market is usually down here below the yellow line, and it's up here. So obviously something is uh, divergent, and that's an interesting situation. Take advantage of that divergence wherever we can. So this is a little bit more off the book trade. It's not our standard. Again, we look for a breakdown below the pink dots. We're going to see though if we can scalp a little bit. kind of a creative trade, so if you're not taking it, I completely understand. The Russell could be trending upwards this morning. All right, so we are short. We're going to go down and target that level. Hmm. 9:16 in the morning. And if we don't like the trade, we're going to jump out. A good way to go short would be below down this swing low. Mm-mm. Now the market is just drifting upward against us. Again, we've got a small position here. We're not risking much. Never want to risk much. We control our risk. We limit our risk. We don't enlarge the risk. Trading is a risky business. Remember that movie, Risky Business? - 9:19 in the morning, getting closer to the open. Crude is breaking lower. Nat gas is breaking lower. Russell is still kind of just floating. Good to me, Russell. You can break down anytime you want. Let's keep breaking lower, breaking lower. Let's see if we can break down into some positive territory, or is it just too tough? Then we'll wait for the next signal. That's fine. We are putting in a pattern called a rising wedge, which is a bullish pattern. So it might be a bullish day right now. Like it's just flirting with that, huh? So a rising wedge is higher lows and then a flat top uh, as resistance. And then once that flat top breaks upward, usually that's a bullish signal. We might get stopped out here, and that's okay. Again, we're not risking much. We're coming into a period of extended downward, uh, typical downward pressure in this market, so we'll keep an eye on it. All right, well, two strikes, and that's how it goes. Hmm. Hey, crude is taking a dive. Nat gas. Oh yeah, we haven't looked at gold yet. So gold is oversold, but honestly, there's no really buy entry points here. The market is just a little crazy. So our initial risk was $300, and actually we just hit $300 on two trades. So we did hit one full initial risk. $924, we're coming into the open. Mm. 1 other market we look at is Solana. Solana is a cryptocurrency, and we hadn't overbought here. The market was just too close to the 100. I wouldn't have taken it. We had an oversold condition here. Again, it was really close to the 100. I wouldn't have taken it. The one trade I would have considered, this is overbought right here. Um, that's a little too close to the 100 too. So really things are just kind of snaking around the 100. We're not interested in it. We're going to wait for the Russell to break down a little bit more. So this is the first Well, this was a little bit of a touch of a sell signal after the overbought here. This is another setup on the overbought. So would have hit target had you gone short directly at it at that level. $9.26. Still a lot of downside available here on this Russell trade. 27 after 9. NASDAQ is moving south. MGC. Let's turn off the diamonds. Sometimes those get in the way. When you go oversold or overbought, it prints the diamonds, the red diamonds, as well as yellow dots. It's a little overkill. So let's turn off the diamonds. All right, Russell. Copper is doing nothing. Let's take a look at one of the another instrument. Let's look at silver. Well, we did have a good trade in silver earlier. This was a good buy level right there. We hit that and hit target. That's a really nice move in silver, which was a heavyweight contract. Oh, that was a $375 hit. We are oversold right now, but there's no buy level in sight. Keep an eye on it. There's our breakdown in the Russell. Well, isn't that something? Coming into the open, 928. All right, the NASDAQ is coming off of those fib levels. Gold is moving to the hundreds. That's kind of a non-issue. YM is sinking lower. Silver's pushing higher, but we don't have a buy level defined. Nat gas did a nice reversal. So this could have been a short nat gas trade. Excuse me. But we were near the 100. Not my ideal. Excuse me, my voice is going. 9:30. We're at the open, folks. Ring the bell. Russell is a jumpy one this morning. Now this is the ags. We'll see. Kind of opened near the 100 right there. So nothing overbought, oversold in the. This is live cattle. LE's live cattle. Silver. We got crude. Let's take a look at the gas. Gas of the natural variety right there. We're not overbought or oversold. Finding support at the 100 right now. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, still nothing yet. Dow, Russell, gold, Nasdaq. Russell is confused. Got a bunch of dojis here. MYM. Guess nobody knows what to make of the trade war. All right, so let's take a look at one of my favorite commodities is the bean oil contract. Yeah, nothing here yet. Nothing bought or oversold. Um, we did have an overbought condition earlier this morning. I would have gone short here for a nice little scalp. That would have been good. Good trade. Yeah. Let's see here. Almost had a buy signal on this bar right there. We're just a couple bars short of a valid buy signal. This one will be a buy signal in a couple of minutes. Here, the top of that wick. So let's keep an eye out for that. We got a pretty well-defined range here for the Russell, buying here and selling there. But we'll wait. We will wait. All right, switch over from the ZL. Take a look at feeder cattle. Nothing here. Uh, take a look at this is soybeans. Live cattle is moving down. Silver's confused. Natural gas is confused. This area between the upper and lower channels is just an area of confusion. There's really no clarity. You can see it's just wobbling back and forth around the 100. We don't really want to get involved in that mix. It's not our goal is to get around in the choppy. So we're going to wait for it to hit oversold down here or overbought up here, and that's where we take interest. You can see here, the minute we hit the overbought area, market sold off. Now, it doesn't always happen that way, of course, but that was a interesting signal here to go short. That's what we're looking for. Something that gets over into the overbought, oversold area. All right, the Russell is just maybe moving a little further south. It broke through its lower half. We're at 935. NASDAQ found support. The Russell is selling off. Who knows? Who knows which way it's going today? Hmm. All right, hold off a minute, folks. I'll be right back. Hmm. We'll be back in a moment, y'all. Just hold tight. Checking the news, that's about it. There's no other news for today. Got a couple of T-bill announcements. An auction at 11:30, the 6-week and the 52-week bills. Okay, hold on a second. Let's bring our chart back in. So glad we got away from this chop. The Russell's confused. The NASDAQ seems to have some sort of direction there. Other than that, it's just a confused mess. So Russell is back and forth. YM is sort of near the top of its channel. Silver, our trade for the day, is still kind of sideways. Certainly sideways. Guys, we're being picky here. We're not going after everything. Nobody wants to do that. Now, this would be a setup possible trend trade. Is a breakdown below here. We just hit the 100 and we're getting rejected off the 100. We hit prior support, which became resistance. So this could be a good short right here. If you're into trend trades, okay, our $300 risk puts us at a 17 contract short. So let's do that. We're going to do a, oh, that's again beyond my limit. So we're just going to do 10. Self-stop. So we're just going to do 10. It's going to be a small risk. This is a trend trade now. Our risk is from up to the 100. The minute we get filled, target is going to be somewhere down here. Thinking right about there, but we'll see. Target's going to be based on this swing, this blue line. So this distance, we're going to do 62% of that and come down to a target. Again, welcome. I'm so glad you're with me watching my trading today, trading the Lion system. Every now and then I'll sing a song, but I do mostly trade. God bless you for joining me. Hope you are having a good Tuesday. If you need prayer for anything, that is what I'm here for too. So drop me in a note, email me, leave a comment in our video, and I'll get back to you. Yeah, that's not going anywhere either, huh? All right. YM is moving up. Equities might be getting on board with the NASDAQ. Hard to tell, but we're not overbought or oversold in any of them. Gold is taking a little plunge. Silver is just lagging behind everything. Crude might still be a short here. I'm going to try a trend trade. Crude has been up and down, hasn't it? All right, well, if we get short here, I'll put a stop above that. I'll right at that blue dot here. Gold moving lower. This could be a trend trade too, but I don't like the fact that the tendency histogram is up during this area. So if I go short, I'd like to have the tendency going with me. Like this one shows our tendency is going to be down for quite a bit of the next hours, several hours. So I like that tendency. Again, it's not like the answer to everything. Those tendencies are just based on historical averages. They're not the ultimate guide to day trading, but gives us a little bit of a picture of how it has traded in the past. If there's a downtrend in this market during this time of day, that's good information to know. All right, well, we're still not doing much anywhere. This would have been a good trend. Well, the green is up, but it would have been a winning trend trade had we taken it. We're not oversold, so this is still in no man's land. The area of confusion, YM, looked expensive. People decided to sell it. The Russell is just languishing here. Tendency is downward. Wow, look at that. Just many minutes of just back and forth. 43 minutes after the Nasdaq is also kind of softening. YM expanded a little bit in its range. Bouncing off the 100 pretty good. So we have a new level to go short in the crude. You see that? We have a new yellow, magenta dot. Hmm. We're only going to take what the market gives us, and right now it's not giving us much of anything. It is a confused market right now. There's the YM, there's the Russell. Gold is oversold. These yellow dots show it's oversold, but we don't really have a buy signal. A buy would be up here, but it's much too high. I'm going to sit on the sidelines for gold. This is technically a buy level in silver, but we're already at the 100. Yep, still a whole bunch of nothing. Let's cancel the crude short. It has moved above the 100. Big risk. So yeah, the risk is just huge going down to here, and 650. So this is a $650 risk. Just not interested in doing that. So close to the 100. Yeah, try and trade going short. If it break down below here. MIM has retraced 50% of its level of its range. Russell is still back and forth. Guys, I'm not seeing too much here. Not exciting. Our two trades today were a loss of 32 ticks. Hmm. See what the other ags have got going on. This is the soybean oil. Let's look at soybeans directly. Well, that's interesting. It was overbought here at the end of the day yesterday, and it did move out of that region. But for today, it was not either overbought or oversold. Talking about feeder cattle. Let's see what the other one is. And nothing going on in the HE. Yeah, let's see what Euro currency has here. 6E, it's overbought. Tendency is up. We have a strong tendency to go negative here at about 1040. Hmm. This is technically a short signal right here. Could do two contracts short. So let's put short two contracts of the 6E right at that level is 1.11655. Not interested in chasing this upward. We know our target. That's already printing. See, pretty strong up here for the next hour, roughly. Um, Not excited about that, but we can get in and out with a scalp. That'd be nice. Gas, crude, silver. Let's find a little bit of a bottom. Again, it's ranging. All right, so we're short in the 6E, guys. That's it. That's the trade right there. Let's see how we go. Can the 6E break below that prior buying frenzy. Let's get a little creative. We're gonna go 1 and 1. But we've got two targets. We got a buy at the extension level, 62%, and then we also have a buy that's going to hit the 100 moving average here in a moment. Well, once the MA rises. All right, we're almost to target on our first contract. One more push. Hmm. Almost to target. Come on, 6E, go a little bit lower. So we have two targets here. First is the extension level, which is that dashed line you can just see behind there. But also the second target is the 100. So that's our second spot. If we get a little shaky, we can target these new targets that are coming, one off of that swing and another one off of this swing. Let's do that. Let's move to that swing. Oh, okay. So one bar close and it's completely below the entry price. So I'm moving our stop to break even. This bar here you see was completely below the entry price. So that's us. Okay, so we got our first target. That's good. Reduce our stop to here. So we're up one target. So we're up 50 bucks. Let's see if we can push down to this distant target. See if we made it through our first 62 support level. We're hitting our second 62 support level. Let's move our stop to a little bit more in the money. We are profit on the 6E, guys and gals, traders. All right, well, we're hitting that support there. This blue level is a target, and it's based on this swing from this pink magenta dot to that cyan dot. I might, if we don't break through to new lows, we could exit out, be in the money about 70 bucks. Give her another minute or two. Hmm. All right, well, that's good. Taking a step toward our target. Almost. Well, we just hit the level. Okay, guys, good news. We're out. All right, so this is a short here. First target was achieved there, right? So that's good news. Celebrate a win. Two wins on the 6E, two contracts. We're making up our loss from the Russell. Look at that Russell. Sad, huh? We were short from this level, we were short from this level, and it just ticked us out. Definitely in the profit. Just that opening range, opening mess was just a little hairy. A little hairy. Silver found a good knock off of that 100. coming into an area of downward expectancy. It's a trend trade if you want it, but silver's not easy. We'll try it. We're going to try a trend trade here. We're going south on silver. All right, we're filled. So I'm going to put an OCO order, put a buy stop here, buy limit at our target, and let's see what happens. Silver is a heavyweight. Yep, and it hit our stop. Trend trades are a special breed. All right, well, we lost our silver. Easy go, easy come. Got a fake out breakout there on the short. 6E is still a little south. Trend trades are not my favorite, guys. Perhaps target was a little tight on that, but I don't want to ride out a bad move. Gold is in the midst of a trend trade. Actually, would have hit target had you gone short in that. This was well, there was one entry here which was hit target. This one took a target here, so that's a good. So gold is listening to our trend trade system, but not silver. Not silver. If we were to go short here, our risk is 325. That's just a little too much risk. Silver really came off some buying action there at the bottom, so we're going to lay off silver. NQ seems positive. Hold on a moment, folks. All right, let's get back to it. Hold on a sec. Okay, we're back. XE was the winner. Not often do gold and silver diverge, so silver is still hanging in there flat. Gold is pushing lower. Severely oversold on gold. We're here seeing yellow dots printing. Keep an eye on it. Crude is just going nowhere. I would consider a trend trade short in gas, but tendency is up. Doesn't give me too much confidence. I do like this downward tendency here. What is this risk? $250 risk. Too much now. It's getting bigger. All right, 6E is there. Let's pull up grains and our ags. Uh, 5 hogs, nothing. Bill, not oversold, overbought, not interested. This is soybeans. We're finally oversold. And how is the oil? Oil of the soybean. Yeah, let's go back to 6E. 6E is finding support on the 100. Equities confused. Except for the NASDAQ. Tech is reaching some new highs. Yeah, look at that. We're new highs here since, haven't been this high since March 3rd in the NASDAQ. And you see coming a little upward off of oversold. Still looking for a buy signal. I mean, right now the buy signal is here, but being so close, that doesn't thrill me. Nat gas is a possible short, stalling out, and there is tendency to be upward or an upward trend. So that's a no trade right there. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Gold is the only one that has my interest right now. We gotta wait for a buy signal that's attractive. We'll find out much. Now with gas, could be interesting once we hit oversold, because we do have a tendency to be north of the 100, and there is coming up on oversold level. Guys, we don't have any excitement in these markets. Nothing. Only one. MCL is hovering around the 100 with occasional spurts. Okay, well, gas did hit oversold. Gas of the natural variety is oversold. That's going to be good to keep in mind. Crude is going north. Copper has a good tendency here to be south, but it is rising. Nobody wants to trade the equities. Those are, it looks like a sine wave in an oscillator. Oscilloscope, that's what I mean. Tech, strongest equities we've got is in the NASDAQ. Oh, making a rally. So we had prior resistance here, support, resistance. Now it's support again, right at the 320, 32, 36 level. We could risk 3 contracts.